Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Happy New Year. For those of us who haven't been able to connect yet this new year, I would say good morning, but I'm so excited because I'm looking in the chat and there are folks joining us from all over the world. I'm seeing people from the States. I'm seeing Spain. I'm seeing Germany. I'm seeing Canada. I'm seeing Finland. So many folks from all over the world joining, and that is so exciting. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining in. I am super excited to be here with you guys today talking about all of the AI features that we've got in Lumio. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is switch my screen here, quickly introduce myself, and then we're going to get y'all connected and we're going to kick things off. So for those of you that I haven't met yet, my name is Mish, and I'm a learning and community designer here at Smart and Lumio. Prior to being here, I was a kindergarten first grade teacher in Chicago and got my master's in curriculum and instruction. Love doing this. It's totally my jam. When I left the classroom, I moved all the way to sunny Arizona, where I have been working here for Smart and Lumio it'll be 2 years next week, which is so exciting. The QR code on the screen there does go to my Instagram, where I post a variety of Lumio tips and tricks, because in these short webinars, or if I've ever met you at a conference or I've ever come to visit your school for some professional development, there's only so many things that I can tell you about all the things I love in Lumio. So if you give a follow there on Instagram, if there's ever any new features, I'll post them there as well. All right. Oh, I see someone from Skokie, Illinois. Hey, fun fact, I grew up in Skokie, born and raised, lived there until I was like 21. All right. So for those of us that are brand new to Lumio, what I'm actually going to have everyone do is join my lesson live time. You'll see some instructions on the screen, also rotating on the bottom. Hey, Karen, 73 and a half. I grew up in District 68 in Skokie. Is 73 and a half. I think that's McCracken, if I'm not mistaken. So what everyone is going to go ahead and do is go to lumioclass.com. You are going to click on join as a guest, and then you'll put in my code, which is 181461. And we've got Holly also from my team that's in the chat, putting those instructions in there as well. So I'll give everyone just a moment to join in. We've got 50 folks on this call, so I'll wait for that number to grow just a little bit. So all you're doing is going to lumioclass.com, selecting the button that says join as a guest, and then you're putting in the code, which is 181461. Now, while I'm giving everyone an opportunity to join, I always like to just make sure all of you know yourself best as a learner. So if you are sitting in front of one monitor right now and switching tabs between our call and Lumio, if that's overwhelming, I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. Remember that this is going to be recorded, so you'll have the ability to kind of go back and play later if that is what better suits your needs. If you've got two monitors or you don't mind switching tabs, please feel free to join in that lesson live time. That is really up to you, just to kind of give you guys a scope of what our next kind of 30 minutes are going to look like. We're going to do a little activity together. I'm also going to demonstrate for you our lesson generator. And I always like to make webinars make and take. So the second half of the call, what I'm actually going to have you all do, if you're able, is log into Lumio as a teacher, and we are going to generate an activity together as well. So now that you've kind of know what the scope of our call is, I want you to just think about what's going to be easiest for you. If you want to just sit back and just watch the call, wait for the recording to kind of come back to you so you can kind of do that clicking and playing later on, that is totally okay. If you are able, go ahead and join that lesson live time, and then you can interact and we'll go from there. I'll give it another minute and then we'll move forward. So lumioclass.com, join as a guest, and then my code is 181461. All right. Oh my gosh, we've got people from Scotland in here. We got some folks from Florida, Quebec, and Canada, Germany. Quite a bit of our team is actually in Florida this week for FETC conference. So if you are at FETC, make sure you stop by the Lumio booth over there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. If you're not joined in yet, by the way, and you plan on it, no worries. You can join at any time, even though I'm moving forward. All right, so I've got a quick question for everyone. What word comes to mind when you think about AI specifically for education? All right, so if you're joined in, you should have a little submission box on your screen to be able to answer that question. And you'll see on my side here, I'm going to have a word cloud that's going to form for us. What word comes to mind when you think about AI for education? And I just want to say that whatever your feelings are, those are A-okay if you are still new and exploring AI, if you're an AI skeptic, if you're all for AI, wherever we are, we're all getting to know the tools that are available to us. So feel free to put any word in here that you feel is relevant. It looks like the word helpful is growing here for us. So what word comes to mind when you think about AI for education? Opportunity, powerful, time-saving, useful, game changer, endless opportunities, assistant, brainstorming partner. I love that someone has said brainstorming partner. I've got a little story I'm going to share in a little bit here about it being a brainstorming partner. And our biggest word here is helpful. There's very different levels of AI. It's powerful. These are awesome words. Holly, behind the scenes, we're going to have to take some screenshots of this. This is pretty cool. I love it. All right. So I'm glad that we all were able to kind of bring in our thoughts, which just reiterates that wherever we are in our exploration of AI, we're kind of seeing those trends. And now what the goal is going to be is to make sure that we're really using this very powerful tool to support us. And so before we really dive into exploring AI, I'm sure we have some folks in the room with us here that might be new to Lumio in general. So I'm going to spend just a quick minute talking about what Lumio is, and then we're going to dive right into exploring our AI features. So what exactly is Lumio for my folks that might be new to exploring? What I would love for you to do is just quickly close your eyes for a moment. And no matter if you are a teacher, if you're an instructional coach, if you're an admin, I want you to think about a day or a week in the classroom. And I want you to think about all of the different tools that you might use digitally. So I'm thinking like Google Slides, YouTube, different game-based activities, or digital curriculum. Maybe you use Book Creator, all of these different things. And I want you to then think about what that means managing wise. You're probably standing in front of your students, whether you've got a smart board or a projector. You're flipping through all those tabs. And if you're working with younger students, that also means you running over to their Chromebooks and helping them navigate to all these different websites. So what Lumio is, kind of like AI, is a time saver because all the things that we do can live together under one tab in one screen. So all the things that we're already doing coming together. So you can import all the things you already have, like your Google Slides, any PDFs you might have. You can convert those into collaborative and engaging workspaces. You can bring in YouTube videos. You can generate games. And what we're going to do together today is take a look at how all these things can come together, all the things that we as the experts in the room already know, and help amplify that with some AI tools. So just like with AI, I always like to kind of take a step back and think about the why. We have all these things that we know we need to deliver to our students, our instructional practices, things that we've been refining for years as teachers, as students ourselves, And then we're going to think about how we can draw on the knowledge that we have, on the knowledge that the students have, and really amplify all of those learning experiences. And what we're going to focus on today is what Lumio and what Lumio's AI tools can do to really bring out and enhance all of that instruction. Now, when we dive into taking a look at what our AI can generate within Lumio, I want you to know that it can generate a full lesson from top to bottom of a lesson. But when we're thinking about the prompts that we can give to AI, when we're thinking in general of when we're creating a lesson plan, is we want to touch on all 4 parts of an effective lesson: engaging our students, exploring a concept, elaborating as they apply their learning. And then, of course, we always want the evaluation piece that helps us to reflect as teachers on where are my students and do I need to keep teaching this topic, or are we ready to expand and move forward? So this is kind of like a little menu that you can think about of all the different things that you can do within Lumio to kind of keep you in that one tab and keep your lesson flow very smooth. All right, so before we move forward into our little AI activity, as I mentioned before, we might be in all different places of where we are with using AI. Before we even really start to touch the tools, I really would like to kind of set the ground and how we think about it. And this past week, I've actually been working. I went back to the school where I got my undergrad and my master's degree. They were offering an AI kind of like mini course. It was asynchronous online. And one of the things that they said in the course was AI should expand a teacher's capacity and not replace professional expertise. And I was really thinking on that last night as I was preparing for this webinar today. And I think that that is something that I need to remind myself. And there is so much fear, I think, in our world today of where AI is going. We are still the experts, not only in the instruction, in the concept, but we also know our students the best. We know their environment the best. We know the climate in the classroom and in the school. So what's really important is that it's there to be our thinking partner, just like someone said in a word cloud, right? So thinking about it as not an authority, not as the sole provider, but just the partner, just like when we have a collaborative team meeting, we're bouncing ideas back and forth from each other. AI, at the end of the day, does not know you. It does not know your students. It doesn't know the context and the standards that fit to your specific needs in your room, no matter what kind of folks and students you've got. So those are the things that you can really help to prompt your AI. But at the end of the day, you still want to take all that information away and work together with that thought partner. So all this to say, the ending goal for today is not to use AI more, but it's to use it more intentionally in ways that support you and what you already do for your students. So with that, I thought we could do a fun little activity because I think it's really important that we're always testing our failure points. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this page here into an individual handout for those of us that are connected. And I've got a very simple set of instructions here. Use the drawing tool on the left side of your screen, click on the pencil, and draw a house. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click here, turn this into an individual handout. So now if you are connected, you should be able to interact with the screen. You will have some tools on the left side here. If you don't see all those different buttons and you see 3 dots, go ahead and click on those 3 dots and then you'll see this pencil. So the instructions are use the drawing tool on the left side of your screen, click on the pencil, and draw a house. As you're doing that, I'm actually going to click into my gallery button. And in our beta features right now, we've got a timer tool. So I'm going to bring that onto my screen. And I'm going to set the timer for a minute here. And I would like for everyone to go ahead and spend a minute, just grab the pencil and draw a house. We need some hold music, like elevator music. Those are the only set of instructions that I have for you at the moment. Got just under 30 seconds to go. For those of us that are just simply sitting back and watching, I'm going to show some of the work on the screen in a moment. As you are all finishing your drawing, on the top right of your screen, you'll notice that you have a button that says done. If you are okay with me sharing your work with everyone here on this call, go ahead and click that done button. There goes our timer. And what I'm going to do is drop my little teacher activity here. And you'll notice if you hit that done button, it gives me that little green check mark, which is indicating for me that you're done. But also go ahead and just hit that done button if you're feeling like it's okay if I share your work with the screen, with the crowd here. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to click on, oh, it's moving around. Let's click on John here. John drew a house here. Looks like John chose to use just the black color. We've got 2 windows. We've got kind of like a triangular roof here. We've got a door. I'm going to close John's here. I'm going to open up, let's see, Jen. All right, Jen added a couple more details here. We've got some grass. We've got a walkway. We've got 4 windows. We've got a different colored roof. Let's open one more. I'm going to open up Jessica's here. All right, Jessica used red. Jessica also, differently from the other 2 folks that I pulled up, had a chimney. So you'll notice that I've opened up 3 different works here, and all 3 looked completely different. Now, I didn't look at these beforehand. I didn't know they were all going to be different, but it's important for us to reflect that I gave a very simple prompt. draw a house. I didn't give any specifics of how many, what shapes, what colors. So now we're going to do this activity one more time. I'm going to switch the screen here, and you'll notice now that I've added a bit more instructions. I'm going to go ahead and convert this one to an individual handout so you guys can start to take a look at it. But the instructions on this one start the same. Use the drawing tool on the left side of your screen. Click on the pencil and draw a small one-story house centered on the page. The house should have a triangular roof, one front door in the middle, and 2 square windows, one on each side of the door. Add a chimney on the right side of the roof. Draw green grass at the bottom of the page, a blue sky in the background, and a yellow sun in the top left corner. I'm going to go into my gallery here and grab my timer once more. And I am going to actually set this one for 1.5 here minutes because we've got a little bit more descriptive instructions here. So go ahead and take a moment to draw that picture. Couple more instructions here, and let's follow the same sequence here. Once you're done, if you are comfortable with me sharing your work, if you could hit the done button in the top right corner of your screen, and I'll get that green check mark indicating that you are okay with me sharing your work with the call here. You've got just about 40 seconds to go. A couple more details here for all of us. All right, as that timer is finishing up, we've got 20 seconds to go. Just a reminder, if you are okay with me sharing your work, go ahead and hit the done button in the top right corner. And then I will get a little check mark indicating that you are okay with me sharing your work. Got 4 seconds to go. All right, looks like I've got a couple green check marks coming in. I'm going to go ahead and select Holly's this time. Let's take a look at what Holly drew. So Holly listened to those instructions centered on the screen. We've got the blue sky. We've got the sun in the top left corner. We've got some grass. We've got a chimney on the right side. Let's go ahead and drop that one, and let's open up Kathleen here. There we go. So again, we're getting closer and closer to those results we want. It is centered right in the middle of the screen. We've got that triangular roof. I'm going to go ahead and let's see who else we can open up. Let's look at Brian's. Looking very similar. Brian's is looking very similar to Holly's. We've got the green grass. We've got the chimney. We've got the light blue sky. So we're getting very close to that same experience here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and drop in for us a shout it out activity. So you now have a submission box on your screen. And my question for you is, let's just take a second to reflect on that. How did you feel when you had your first prompt and when you had your second prompt? What are some noticings that you had? What did you notice? What did you wonder? How did we feel about task A versus task B? What did you notice? You should be able to answer that question on your screen. You should have a little submission box. And as you answer, those will populate up on my screen as well. And then after this, we're going to dive into taking a look at the AI right inside of Lumio. Holly says, I better understood what the expectations were on the second page. We did rush a little bit just for time's sake. You are right. That is a good reflective point. I like that Holly said that you better understood those expectations. I think that is really important for us to think about in general with our students as well when we're creating rubrics, when we're writing directions. Much more detail with specific directions, was able to focus my drawing the second time. Your prompt had more specific details for what we should draw. Task A allowed for more individual creativity because task B wanted more specific details. Yep. More details were required with task 2. Task A was simpler. Task B was more and also very exciting and was better understood. You knew exactly what I wanted from you guys. It was very, very clear. I am not going to try to read French. I tried one time when I went to a French restaurant and I fully embarrassed myself, but I'm going to leave that on the screen here just in case we've got other French speakers in the room that would like to read that response. Knowing the tools better helped for the second task. So you got to explore something a little bit first and you were more ready for the second one. As a language teacher, I love the well-instructed drawing, guided drawing. It is like a fun, creative reading comprehension. You're right. I actually tried this activity once when I was working with a second language class as well. The exact size was missing. How big is a small? Okay. There's still, that's really good. Actually, I really appreciate that you said that because there's still some information that is missing, right? Where we can always be refining our prompts more and more. The more information, the better the drawing is going to be. Exactly. So all this to say, the reason I wanted to do this activity is that it really helps us to understand how AI works. AI doesn't know exactly what we want. It only responds to what we are telling it. So as we continue to refine those prompts, we clear our thinking, we understand, and it's okay to talk to our AI to see where those gaps are. We might have thought that our instructions were very clear. We found some gaps. It's okay to then regenerate if you need to. And I think that also really ties back to teaching in our UDL practices because someone had said in here that, what did someone say in here? There was a comment that I really appreciated. There was one, I'm going to find it. Oh, you know what? It was Holly's, that you better understood what the expectations were. And so I think it's really important that when we're thinking about our students, when we're writing directions, when we're creating rubrics, it's just like talking to an AI, right? The more specific we are, the more explicit we are, the better the students understand exactly what's expected of them, just as our AI bot would be. So here's how we're going to spend the next little bit of time here. I am going to go ahead and end our session for now. So go ahead for the next few minutes. You can just stay watching the call for now, and then we're going to do a little bit more interacting. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you a little bit about our AI lesson generation, which is coming out of beta and is going to be readily available. So I'm going to click on this button on my home screen that says AI lesson. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my learning objectives, my standards, and it is really nice because you could actually put in a standard for wherever it is that you live. So what I'm going to ask it to do is to create a 6th grade social studies lesson about geography influences. And since I live in Arizona, I went ahead and I found the exact standard that this lesson would align with. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that standard. I'm going to change this to grade 6. And then I'm going to go ahead and click generate. I'm keeping it in English here. And you'll see that now it's generating. It's giving me a title slide, an objective slide. It's giving me those interactive elements, a couple games here, an exit ticket, a fill in the blank, a review page as well. And then at the end, an optional challenge. What's really nice is anything that you do here, I want you to know that you are still very much in control. So I can click on edit. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop over to this exit ticket. And I'm always thinking about how my lessons can be aligned to UDL frameworks. So what I'm actually going to do is, and I had all these things here ready to go, I'm going to change the instructions to be a little bit more UDL focused because for me, it's really important for my students because I know them better than my AI does, that I need to give them multiple means of expression. So I just refined the directions a little bit. I was able to just change that text. If I needed to, I could go in and change any directions anywhere else. I could change some of the game pieces here. I could delete fully an activity if I didn't want it. Once I'm done, I can select Save Changes. I can review it once more. It created 13 pages for me. I'll choose my template. You can always change the backgrounds later on, but from here, these are the ones that we've got preset in the platform for you. And I'll go ahead and do the spring template and click Create. Now, as that's generating for me, what's important to know is that we are still fully in control here. So once it's done loading on the screen, I can still go in and I can add any interactive elements for supporting some of my students. I might want to go back and add some audio instructions. I might want to grab in some more visuals. And I can also import any content that I have from a previous lesson at Google Slide that I've created in the past, upload a worksheet that I might have digitally. And I'm going to pause here as that's loading and take a look at the chat. Any questions? It is coming out of beta in the next few days, and we will also have by the end of today a YouTube video posted as well, a quick train video of exactly what I'm showing you here today as well. So now you'll see on my screen here, my lesson is ready. I'm able to go through. If I still need to, you'll see I can click on each of these text boxes and I can edit them if I need to. There is that shout it out. I can still go in and edit if maybe I wanted to add a couple more categories. I just wanted to make it one question. Perhaps I needed to add for some of my students those audio instructions. I can just simply go in. Everything is editable. And maybe I'm getting to the end here and I'm realizing, you know what? Maybe instead of this exit ticket, maybe I would like to do another game here. I can still click on that add button. And here, all those tiles of all the interactive elements that we can still add in to our Lumio lesson that it's created. There's a question that says, will there be an ability to import multiple files at once? I'm going to have Holly, if you can answer that question in there. Thank you. Awesome. Perfect. So from here, that is kind of what our lesson generator is going to look like. So very, very customizable. And what I want you to really think about is exactly the prompt that you're putting in there. Input equals output. And that is what's really important for us to consider here. So the last few minutes, you've kind of just been watching. So what I would love for everyone to do right now is we are going to take a look at another AI tool that we've got in Lumio, and that's our AI Assist for our quiz-based activities. So what I'm going to have you all do is now join into Lumio as an educator. So what you'll do, I'm going to put this in the chat for us. You're going to go to www.golumio.com. That's going to take you to that sign-in screen. If you're still on that student screen on the top left, you might see a little picture of a door. Go ahead and click the door and select Leave Class. And it might prompt you to log back in as a student. But if you squint just a little bit, at the very bottom, there's going to be some blue text that says, are you a teacher? Log in here instead. So let's pop in. As teachers, you know you are ready when your screen looks like mine. I would say the top half of your screen. Now, I have all of my own lessons in here, but if the top few things look like mine, you are all set to go. So right now, again, we're coming into Lumio as teachers. You're going to go to golumio.com. You're going to click that sign in button. And if it does kick you back to trying to sign in as a student, look for some very small blue text that says, are you a teacher? Sign in here instead. I'm going to give it just another couple of seconds, and then we are going to generate a quiz together. So I'll just kind of start talking here while folks are getting logged in. In addition to this AI lesson generator, something that we've already had in Lumio for quite some time is we also have AI Assist for our quiz-based activities. So if you're on your home screen and you click on that new button, you'll notice that some of these tiles have a little purple button that says AI. It indicates that there's something there that has AI Assist in it. So AI currently exists in our quiz-based activities. So response is our version of a quiz, like a formative assessment. And then in our game-based activities, you'll notice that there's quite a few AI Assist buttons in here as well. We've got Monster Quiz, which is kind of like our interactive version of Kahoot. We've got a game show. So any of those quiz-based activities will have AI Assist. For today, I'm going to go ahead and click on response. And here's where, again, I want to urge you to think about yourself as a learner. If just sitting back and watching is what works best for you, please feel free to do so. If you would like to interact, I've got two options for you as well. Option one is you can put in the exact prompts that I'm putting in. You can create exactly what I'm creating. Or B, if you're a classroom teacher, if you're an instructional coach, go ahead and go a little rogue and create something that you can use in the next couple of weeks here. So I'm going to click on response, and it'll open right up to that Lumio AI Assist option. So I'm going to ask my AI, and I'm going to give a shout out here to Shay, who is one of our education solutions consultants in Canada, who got me this really, really good prompt for it's standard aligned to something in Ontario, Canada. So I'm going to pop this into my prompt here. And it is create a cross-curricular lesson for grade 3 students in Ontario, Canada, who are investing how farming and urban development affect plant habitats. Whew. And then she even gave some curriculum expectations here. You'll notice that there's 2 standards I'm aligning it to. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to grade 3. I'm going to keep it at 5 questions. I'm going to go ahead and actually just keep it at multiple choice. Now, I went ahead and copy and pasted my standards right into my prompt, but you do have the ability right here as well to go ahead and find the exact standards that you're looking for. You'll see the states and you'll see some different things in here. We've got all the Canadian standards in here. We've got a ton if you want to take some time to scroll through there. You then have the ability to narrow it down even further to the specific strand. Once you're done there, you can go ahead and select the levels. So I might want my students to have easier questions, intermediate. I might give an option for a mix of questions. And then once I'm feeling pretty good about this, I'm going to go ahead and select, click on that generate button. As that's generating, just like with the AI lesson generator, you are still very, very much in control here. So even though it generated these questions here, I'm still able to click right into the box. Maybe I want to add a little bit more instruction to that question. Maybe I didn't really love this option. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Maybe I only wanted 3. Maybe I wanted to change this, this verbiage here. I could also go ahead and add in an image if I needed to. Let's say I got to question number 3 and altogether, I don't love that question. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And maybe I'd like to add my own. I'm going to go ahead and add a short answer. I can either create it completely on my own, or I can come back right over to Lumio AI Assist and have it generate a couple more questions for me. So let me just pop over to question 5 and delete it. I don't need it. I can also change the order of the questions. Now that I feel pretty good about it, I'm going to click next. And then from here, you do have a couple of options. So this is something that I think we launched also last spring, I want to say. You used to only be able to do our response activity during live in class delivery. And now you can actually use it as independent work as well, which is really good for home graded homework, independent practice. So you can choose from here if you want that to be independent work or live in class. You can add a title, you can add some instructions, and then go ahead and select finish. If you had the opportunity to create something, let us know in the chat. What did you prompt your AI? What was your quiz about? I would love to know. Let us know in the chat. What did you ask the AI assist to make your quiz about? Scott asked a really good question. How do you have the students' answers feed into a word cloud like you did at the start of the webinar? I love that you asked that, Scott. So actually, right in response, you've got the different question types, and it's just a short answer one. So you can create a short answer. I just typed in, I made this one on my own. So short answer, and I just typed in the question. I think I asked you guys, what word comes to mind when you think of AI in education? And then that's actually all I did. I went ahead and I clicked next, and I clicked finish. And then once you guys were logged into my lesson, I didn't have to tell it anything else. Let us know in the chat if you were able to create something. What did you make your quiz about? Or if you're just following along today, let us know in the chat when you do go back and play around with this later today or later this week. What are you planning on having the AI help you with? As you guys are putting those in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and you are very welcome, Scott. I'm going to pop back over to my class sessions. And I'm going to pop over to our webinar. I'm just wanting to see if there's any other questions. I actually wanted to show you guys, and I meant to show this to you earlier because it's something that came out last week in Lumio that I was way, way too excited about, and I meant to call it out earlier. So I'm just going to quickly give it a shout out. It's not relevant to AI here, but I just think it's such an exciting feature update that we got on Lumio. Do you remember earlier when I had you guys create your drawings in an individual handout? If you are one of our veteran Lumio users, one of our most requested features is there's so many individual handouts. Is there a way for me to export those as a PDF? And officially, as of last week, it's here. So I'm going to just quickly pop back into my dashboard here, and you'll notice that now I have this button here that says export to PDF. So if I click on that, it's actually going to pull every single one of these individual handouts, whether you click done or not. It's going to bring them into a PDF for me, which is really great. And that feature is currently in beta. So what I'm going to really quickly show you is to turn on your beta features. You are going to click on your icon in the top right corner of your Lumio screen. You've got a button that says About Lumio Beta, and you've got that toggled on. We put lots of features in beta first. You can always see that list of features here to try it out, making sure that our product team is really fine-tuning those. Mara, we are so pumped about that export PDF feature too. And so that is there. So if you by any chance did not see the Lumio AI Assist options, it is in beta right now, but it should be coming out any day now. Okay, so you can turn on your beta, but know that it's going to be fully available for everyone within the next couple of days. So with that being said, I'm going to pop right back over to where we started to go over some resources with everyone if no one else has any other questions. And as I'm sharing these things, I'll have Holly backstage sharing some links as well. So as you know, we've got lots of different Lumio resources. You know yourself as a learner. So no matter what kind of learner you are, we've got different ways for you to kind of keep your growing going with Lumio. I'm going to start all the way at the right side of the screen. We do have our Academy. If you are one of our veteran users, our Academy did just get relaunched. It's using a new platform now. It's very user-friendly. You can log into there. If you are coming from the old Academy, go ahead and go to the new one. What you'll do is click Forgot Password, put in the email you've always used, and then you'll be able to access all the coursework you already have. I did just post a course in our Academy a few weeks ago, specifically actually about using AI for formative assessment in Lumio. So there is a course in there that you can practice using more AI for formative assessment, specifically with Lumio. This webinar, along with all of our other webinars, always get recorded. So if you pop into our webinars page here, you'll see at the top half of that page all of our upcoming webinars. And then the bottom half of that page, you can click through all of our past recordings as well. We have our Lumio YouTube, which has a variety of 2 to 3 minute clips, ranging from how do I connect my students, how do I generate AI. We'll have an AI train video posted by the end of today as well on there. You can also see all of our webinars there as well. The last thing I'll say here is if you are not yet, I would highly recommend that you all join to become an ambassador. Remember, I shared that just last week we launched the export PDF option. Things like that, our ambassadors get a sneak peek of those things first. So that's where you can go to stay in the know of upcoming features. It's where you can go to connect with folks from all over the world using Lumio, ask questions. We share resources on there. So if you're not yet, Holly did just post right into the chat here the application to become an ambassador. And if we ever see you at conferences, we've got lots of ambassadors at FETC in Florida this week. We love to meet up with our ambassadors. We've got an event going on in London. When is it? When is it? I think it's also this week or next. But whenever it is, we'll meet up with our ambassadors there as well. And we'd love to see you there. And the very last thing here is to get credit for this webinar. We're going to drop the link right. Oh, it's next week. Thanks, Mart. See, Mart, I know you would know. I know you would know what BET is. Mart is one of our ambassadors in Finland, who we always get to see at BET in London. The chat has the link for these surveys. So in order to receive your certificate, as well as your credit for attending this webinar, the certificate is in the chat. And I'm actually going to pop back over to this screen here. So if you need any of those resources, you'll see those here, but they're also right in the chat for you as well. Thank you all so much for being here today for our AI webinar, and happy exploring. We'll see you guys next time.